Hello and welcome to my live lessons on Exchange Server 2016. My name is Brian Posey. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a freelance technology writer and speaker and a 14-time Microsoft MVP. I've been in IT for over 20 years and I've been working with Exchange Server since the 90s, so you're in good hands. So before I get started, I just want to give you a little bit more information about my background. I've worked in IT in at least some capacity since I was 16 years old. Before I went freelance, I was the CIO for a nationwide chain of hospitals and healthcare facilities. I also served as a network engineer for the United States Department of Defense at Fort Knox, where I was responsible for a 25,000 node heterogeneous network. I've also worked as a network administrator for some of the largest insurance companies in America. I do have one other resume item that's somewhat unique, at least in the world of IT. I've spent the last year or so training to be a commercial astronaut. As I'm sure you've heard, there are a number of private companies that are building vehicles to fly tourists into space. Although these vehicles were primarily designed for space tourism, there are corporations and universities that are planning to use these same vehicles to fly science experiments into space. In fact, I'm currently working through the Project POSSUM Scientist Astronaut Qualification Program. This program aims to launch graduates into space to study polar mesospheric clouds. If you're curious about my spaceflight training, you can check out my webpage at brianposey.com/space. So let's get back to the topic at hand. I'm very happy that you've decided to join me in these live lessons. My goal is to teach you about Exchange Server 2016, but to take a different approach than you'll commonly find in Exchange Server related books or training videos. Exchange Server has a reputation for being one of Microsoft's most complex server products. My goal is to try to make Exchange easy to deploy and work with. Rather than giving you a lot of meaningless technical jargon or providing you with obscure exam type material, I plan to focus on what is really important to help you get Exchange up and running with minimal effort. So with that said, let's take a look at the overall lesson plan. Lesson 1 starts out by introducing Exchange Server. I'll talk about what Exchange Server is, as well as hardware, software, and licensing requirements. I'll also spend some time talking about new features and the features that Microsoft has removed. Lesson 2 is where we get to deploy Exchange Server 2016. I'll be showing you how to prepare your environment and how to install Exchange. This lesson is also where I'll introduce you to the management tools that I'll be using throughout the video series. Lesson 3 covers the basics of working with Exchange. This is where we create mailboxes and configure various types of policies. Lesson 4 is an introduction to mailbox clients. I'll be showing you Outlook 2016, Outlook 2016 Mobile, and Outlook on the web. Lesson 5 is all about security. I'll show you how to apply certificates to your Exchange Server deployment and how to use role-based access control. Lesson 6 covers message hygiene. This is where I talk about spam and virus protection. Lesson 7 focuses on mobile messaging. I'll spend some time talking about requirements and administrative tools that are available, but I'll also show you how to provision mobile devices for use with Exchange. Lesson 8 is about coexistence. This lesson is for people who are already running Exchange Server, and it covers what you need to know about bringing Exchange 2016 into an existing Exchange organization. Lesson 9 builds on the concepts covered in Lesson 8. Here I'll be showing you how to phase out Exchange Server 2013 so that you can operate in a native Exchange 2016 environment. Lesson 10 discusses one of the more important Exchange Server concepts, database availability groups. You can use database availability groups to provide high availability for your mailbox databases. Lesson 11 focuses on compliance. Many of the new features in Exchange Server 2016 are compliance related, so compliance is a big topic. I'll be covering things like e-discovery, data loss prevention, and auditing. Lesson 12 is about message retention. This lesson focuses on journaling and archiving. Lesson 13 is where I get to talk about Office 365. Office 365 has gained major traction over the last few years, and many organizations host some or all of their Exchange Server mailboxes in the Office 365 cloud. So in this lesson, I'll show you how to set up an Office 365 subscription and how to migrate to the Office 365 cloud. Lesson 14 wraps things up by demonstrating a few tools that I find helpful for ensuring Exchange Server's ongoing health and well-being.